Well, hey there, I'm Jody.
I'm Justin.
And we are Working Perspective. And we are taking a look at Sheepy Time today, sent to us by AEG. And it plays 1 to 4 players in around 30 to 45 minutes. And in this game, you are the dream sheep, and you're trying to jump the fence to help people fall asleep more easily. But you have to be careful that the nightmare does not wake you up. So, let's take a brief look at how it's played, and we'll come right back up with our thoughts. To set up, you'll put the main game board out, and you'll put the fence in between 10 and 1, as well as the nightmare token in the center. And you'll randomly choose a dream tile, and you'll put that at 10 and 5. And you have the scoreboard over here with the pillow starting at 40, and each player's token at 0. Dream tile supply, the corresponding board depending on player count. And then you also have a market of 4 dream tiles face up. First player token, each player will take some Z's of their tokens and a sheep. And then you're going to choose which nightmare to play with. Now it comes with 3. We're going to choose the Nightmare Wolf. And in that case, you're going to choose all of the corresponding nightmare cards. So these are for the other ones. We have the spider and this little dude. So these will not be used in this game. And then you will also choose cards depending on player count. I have this set up for a 2-player game. So I'm going to remove all the 3 cards and all the 4 cards and only play with the 2. And I'm going to shuffle the Nightmare Wolf cards in with those other cards to form the deck to start with. So the goal of the game is to get your token to reach or past your pillow. So you'll be trying to get your pillow to move down as well as your token to move forward so that they can meet. Now, Sheepy Time is played in 2 main phases. You have the racing phase, we're going to be trying to go around and cross the fence, and then the rest phase. At the beginning of the racing phase, all players will take 2 cards and will add it to their hand that only they will be able to see. Now, players will be taking turns back and forth, and each turn has 4 steps you have to follow. So first is going to be playing a card from your hand, and then you're going to resolve the card. Then you have the chance to use any dream tiles that you might be able to use, and then possibly resolve the fence crossing where your sheep might be jumping over the fence. And then lastly, you're going to draw more cards. So players will choose 1 card from their hand to play, and most times it will say, move a certain amount of spaces and or catch Z's or winks, something like that. So let's just play this card to start. So this will be move 2 spaces or catch 2 winks. So if I move 2 spaces, I would start on the 1 and go 1, 2. So my sheep would be there. Or instead of that, I could catch 2 winks, 2 Z's, where you would grab 2 Z's from your supply and you can place them on any dream tiles. Now, if we had played that same card and decided to move, and we happen to land on a spot where the nightmare token was, then our character will become scared and will get turned over. If you happen to land on a space that has a dream tile and you have some Z's on there, then you can use the ability of the dream tile. Now, Z's, you might have single-use Z's, or the opposite side will be infinity, where you can use this all the time if you land there. So if it is a one-time use, then you use the dream tile's ability once and this gets removed. So for instance, this dream tile says gain 2 winks, move backward 2 spaces. So that's the symbol for winks. And what the winks do, that allows you to move your token up the corresponding amount of spaces. So it said gain 2 winks, so I went up 2 spots. And I also have to move my sheepy token back 2 spaces. After playing cards and resolving any dream tile uses, then you have to possibly resolve the fence crossing. So if I had moved all the way up here and crossed the fence, then I have a decision to make. So I have to decide whether I want to call it a night and basically be done for the round, which will mean I will be safe from the nightmare, or I can choose to keep going. So it's a little bit of push your luck here, because once you make that decision, you can't ever come back on that decision. So if you decide to keep going, then a future turn, you can't decide to call it a night until you cross the fence again. Now also, whenever you cross the fence, you immediately gain 5 winks and move up your token that amount of spaces. And at the end of your turn, you're going to draw up the 2 cards. So I have 1 here, so I need to draw 1 more. And if you happen to draw a nightmare card, you immediately resolve its effect. So this one says the nightmare moves 2 spaces. So I would simply move the nightmare token twice. And then you're going to draw again until you draw up to 2 normal cards in your hand. Now let's go a little more into detail about the nightmare and becoming scared. So let's say we have this example here where I'm here and this card was just resolved, so the nightmare moves 2 spaces. So this would mean lands on the same spot as mine, so I would become scared. Now if the card said move 3 spaces, I wouldn't have ended, the nightmare wouldn't have ended the movement there, but would have passed through, so 1, 2, 3. In that case, I still would become scared. And if the card said the nightmare jumps 3 spaces, then the nightmare token would jump 1, 2, 3, would jump here. So in this case, he jumps over and does not make this sheep become scared. It's only when he passes through or lands on the same spot. Now, if my sheep token was already scared and the nightmare had landed on the same spot as me, then I would now have to wake up. And when that happens, I remove my sheep token from the board and place it out in front of me. Then I return my token back to 0 on the scoreboard, and you will discard the cards in your hand. So players who have woken up will take no further turns during the racing phase. Now it is important to note that on some of these dream tiles, it may say become brave. And what that means is that if my token was scared and I used this dream tile ability, then I could actually stand my token back up and he's no longer scared. Now if the nightmare crosses the fence, then all players who have not already woken up, so players that have been kind of kicked out of the racing phase for that round, or called it a night, so players that had crossed the fence earlier and decided to play it safe and call it a night, then the racing phase immediately ends and you proceed to the resting phase. So you want to try to cross the fence and call it a night before the nightmare does. And like we mentioned earlier, you can try to do that multiple times, but just be careful because you don't want to get caught by the nightmare token. Now once the racing phase ends and right before the resting phase, you're going to actually look and see who is the winner for that round. And depending on who's the winner, you will be moving your pillow down depending on your placement. So blue is first place and purple is second. So blue will move their pillow down 8 spots all the way down to 32, and purple will move down 5 spots. And you will always check at the point of scoring to see if anyone has reached their pillow or passed it, because if that's the case, then they will have won the game. And here shows you that if you had woken up during the round, then you will simply reduce your pillow by 3 spots. And for the resting phase, you're going to be resetting, so these go back to 0, nightmare token goes back, players make sure they have their tokens. And then at this point, each player can decide whether they want to add a new dream tile to the board, in which case they will choose from one of these here. So let's say this player wants to grab this one. And on the bottom right hand corner, it shows what type of Z token you will place on there. So this has that infinity symbol. So I will be placing this Z token here. So that means I will always have this ability. Now let's see, is there an example out here? No, there's not. Let me find an example of one of these. So if you have this dream tile that you chose, then you would place 3 Z tokens on there. So you have 3 uses for this dream tile. But we decided to use this one, and then at that point you're going to put it anywhere on the board. Let's put it at slot 7, and you will make sure to put your token on there. Now if you didn't want to get a new dream tile, you could instead catch 2 Z tokens and place it on dream tiles out on the game board. So players will continue playing rounds until at the end of a round someone has reached or surpassed their pillow, and whoever has done that will be the winner of the game. Now this game also comes with a solo mode, which has the rules in the back of the rulebook, as well as a nice index for all the different dream tiles if you have questions. So that was a brief look at Sheepy Time. Now, so I'm going to be honest here. When I first heard about this game, I had like zero desire to play and try this game. And the box, it still doesn't really call me, just not my favorite kind of art. But I will say, once I sat down and played it, I was actually very surprised. I thought this was a fun, cute little game. And, push your luck. I think I'm finding out that I like push your luck games more than I thought. Mm-hmm. Because this is definitely push your luck, and I just seem to have a fun, lighthearted time playing. Mm-hmm. And once everything was out on the table, I thought it was kind of cute, with the sheep trying to jump the fence and the nightmare token, and I found it to be a very pleasant experience, and I'm going to keep this game. I thought this was going to be like a one and done for me, to be honest, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's a nice game, and if you have, it's a good family game too. If you have, not young kids, what does it say, 10 older? I mean, you get this on the table, have a good time playing as a family. I think this would make for a great family game. Now, I have noticed that I have a problem sometimes pushing my luck a little too much, where the nightmare would get me. But I just want to keep going and trying to jump the fence.
Yeah.
But, oh well. But overall, I was really surprised. I enjoyed this a lot. The only thing I can think of is it can get maybe a little overwhelming when you have it's filled up with dream tiles. It can get overwhelming trying to figure out, all these different dream tiles and what they say, because it's, circular. So, but yeah, I found it very cute and enjoyable. What did you think about it?
It didn't really
jump out at you?
Didn't really do much for me. I like the color. I like blue.
Yes, we both like blue.
I like blue. But other than that, the gameplay was okay. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I'm not as much of a push your luck person.
Well, the one we played recently was Cubitos, and you really liked that one.
I like that one, but it's not like at the top of the list for me.
Yeah, but you enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, but again, it's not like a top of the list kind of game, and I don't know if it's the push your luck or if it's just, I don't know. I wasn't finding this gameplay, this mechanism super interesting for me.
And maybe you're just, the theme kind of was a little boring for you.
Maybe.
I definitely liked it more than he did, for sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was surprised, because I went into it thinking I wasn't gonna like it, but I actually think it's really cute and a fun time. So, so that is our thoughts of Sheepy Time. Let us know in the comments below if you have played this game and what you think about it, and if you like Push Your Luck. I know some people do, some people don't. My problem is I like too many kinds of mechanisms. I like too many games. But yeah, so that is our thoughts on Sheepy Time. If you found today helpful, guys, go ahead and click that subscribe button and like this video. And until next time, thanks for joining and happy gaming.
See ya.